I know.
It's
just one of those things.
The vehicle after you get new tires, it feels so nice.
And you don't realize how different it feels too. When
It feels
your
good.
tires are worn and then you put new ones on. Oh, this is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. I know.
That's how
A
it's
nice
supposed to
plug for
work.
Payson Tire Pros.
Yeah.
Are we
that's
live?
what-
We are live.
Oh, hello.
We were just talking about Payson 1,
Yeah.
my t-shirt.
One piece in.
Payson 1.
And a big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and hope everyone had a chance to go out to the Northern Gila County Fair. I tell you what, it was a blast. A big thank you to all of the board members, volunteers, all of the sponsors, everyone that was involved with that. It was a great event, had a wonderful time, and our young people did amazing with their animals, their livestock. The auction was incredible. Very generous people here in Rim Country, so I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that was a part of that wonderful event. Well, this morning, it is time for Kristin, Croak, and Friends. Good morning, Kristin.
Good morning, Chris.
And this morning, your friend in the studio is the CEO of the Time Out Shelter, Trish Klaver. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning, Chris, and good morning, Christine. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're so welcome. Well, Kristin Croak is your local Payson and Rim Country Realtor, and each month we do a program where Kristin brings in one of her friends, somebody that she works with here in the community, because you're involved with a few nonprofits, aren't you, Kristin?
Yeah, a few, yes.
There you go. Well, I know there's just so many great nonprofits in our community doing incredible things, and Time Out Shelter is one of them. So, just quick, how long have you been involved with Time Out Shelter?
I think I'm going on 8 years. I've been a volunteer with them. I am past president
Mm-hmm.
and still a very proud board member.
There we go. So it is, again, a wonderful organization that provides such a vital service and services to the community. And Trish, can you tell us a little bit about the Time Out Shelter?
Sure, I absolutely can. The Time Out Shelter is a domestic violence shelter.
Mhm.
So we welcome individuals to our shelter that are fleeing domestic violence situations or intimate partner violence. We operate a 28-bed facility here in Payson,
Mhm.
and we have operated that facility for close to 30 years
Wow.
right here in town.
Mm-hmm.
We offer not only shelter,
Mm-hmm.
but we have transitional housing programs,
Mm-hmm.
which will help individuals to, when they're ready to transition out of the shelter and into their independent housing, we can help to facilitate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so
Yes.
many services that you provide for residents or for people that come into the program.
Mhm.
I know from the name Time Out Shelter, a lot of people might assume or just might believe that it's only the sheltering services,
Sure.
but there are so many.
We have a lot of comprehensive services there.
Mm-hmm.
We also man a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week crisis line.
Okay.
So folks can call in if they're in crisis, and we can help with safety planning. If they're not ready to come into shelter, we can provide alternatives to coming into shelter. If we have room, we will gladly welcome them, seek sanctuary at our shelter.
Mm-hmm.
While they're there, we have in-house counseling services provided by a licensed family counselor.
Mm-hmm.
That's provided to the residents there while they're staying with us. And as I said, transitional housing. We have a lay legal advocate on staff,
Mhm.
and that would be the person that would help you to file orders of protection,
Mm-hmm.
re-obtain your birth certificates and all of your legal documents that you may have had to leave behind when you were fleeing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a bilingual liaison who works out in our community. So we not only serve residents in the shelter, but we also have in-community clients as well.
Mm-hmm. That's something I guess not maybe a lot of people think about is the people that come to the shelter that I would imagine it's probably the majority of the time they're fleeing a situation. So it isn't a case where they have the luxury of packing a suitcase
Yes.
and grabbing belongings and important items like that.
And that is the case more often than not.
Yes.
That they, upon fleeing, they've had to leave behind everything. I mean, even at times without shoes, you know, just having to leave the situation. So we helped provide clothing, the basic needs, hygiene, supplies, and, you know, whatever we can provide to them that they come in without.
Now, the crisis hotline, that is a 24/7 hotline?
Yes, we are a 24-hour-a-day facility, so we have staff on around the clock.
Wow.
And they're manning those phones.
And that number, just because it's probably good to put it out there a few times during the program, what is the number for the crisis hotline?
The number to the crisis hotline is 928-472-8007, and that goes directly to the shelter. We have an alternate mobile and text line that we put into operation last year because sometimes people feel more comfortable texting. And a lot of people they just have their mobile phones on them all the time. So that mobile and text line is 928-978-4081.
And I would imagine, I think you mentioned this before as well, that the texting ability, having that ability, is good because in some situations, maybe a person can't talk on a phone, can't get on a phone because they'll be heard by the person that they're needing to get away from. So if they're able to text and get help or reach out to someone.
Advice and safety planning right there via text. So you don't have to make any noise or, you know, no one knows what you're talking about. You can just text to our mobile and text line. That is manned also 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So, yeah, so many services, and again, 24/7, being 24/7, you know, that requires a lot of personnel, a lot of staff, a lot of time, a lot of funding. And also you mentioned that Time Out has been operating for 30 years now. Wow. So your facility, I imagine, is wearing out just a little.
It's tired.
It's tired?
It's tired.
Debilitating.
Yeah, so I heard there are plans or things are happening with a new building?
They're happening. So you know, Time Out has been open, that shelter's been open for almost 30 years. That building was already an older building, I think, when they opened. So you can imagine what the wear and tear does over 30 years to a facility like that. So we have been fundraising specifically for building a new shelter. We've been fundraising for about 4 years, do you think? So hitting it hard, all of our board members have been having different events to raise funds specifically for this new shelter. We've done really, really well. We can always use more help.
And more money?
More money. By help, I mean money, of course.
Donations appreciated.
Of course. By help, I do mean money for our new shelter.
Yeah.
And so, if you'd like to speak on, we're in the design phase.
We are. We have retained services of an architect, and so we're working with an architect. The board committee is Gary Cordell. I'm on his committee. Hannah, our president, is on the committee, and I don't know who else is on the committee, but just exciting things. Gary's doing an awesome job with you know, getting some outside resources, like Steve Smith is involved, and we're working with the town of Payson, and we're just in the preliminary stages. So we're hoping that we can start.
We're hoping to break ground really soon. We're planning, you know how designing a new facility can go. You have different drafts of plans, and then, you know, changes need to be made. So we're in that phase right now.
Wow, that's exciting.
Very exciting.
It's very exciting. So, as you mentioned, you could always use more money, donations. So what are ways that people can donate to the Time Out shelter?
Well, Time Out is supported by, we have some federal and state grants. We're supported by some foundations, corporations, but mainly from public donations, from our community and
Mhm.
around the state. And we always need public support,
Mhm.
you know, to keep our facility running.
Mhm.
So some ways that you can be a supporter of Time Out and help us to continue providing those services.
Mhm.
You can go to our website at timeoutshelter.org
Mhm.
and follow the prompts there. There's a donation button, so you can
Okay.
make donations online that way.
Mhm.
You can mail in your donation, if you like, to P.O. Box 306, Payson, Arizona, 85547.
Mhm.
Or you can also feel free to drop off any monetary donations at our thrift store.
Mhm.
So they will get those over to us.
Mhm.
Because anything donated at thrift store goes directly to support our shelter.
Mhm.
It doesn't go anywhere else. There's no corporate office anywhere
Mhm.
in any other town.
Mhm.
Our whole operation is here.
Yeah.
I would like to add that for those who would like to support the new build,
Uh-huh.
if they would allocate those funds strictly for the new build,
Okay.
it will go there. If it's not titled, it will go, towards the general funds, which is
Mhm.
great. We need
Mhm.
that as
We
well.
do.
Mhm.
So, and, anyway, so
Yeah.
Yes.
wanted to let you know that,
So,
people.
and operating a nonprofit, when you receive funds that are termed restricted,
Uh-huh.
I am not allowed to use those for
Mhm.
operating funds.
Okay.
So simultaneous fundraising is a little difficult because you want to raise funds for the new shelter, but those are restricted to that
Uh-huh.
use. So we're always looking for additional operating funds as well that I
Mhm.
can use to continue
Mm.
paying staff or, the
All the
electric bills, the
All the
gas
operating
bills,
costs. Oh,
telephone
yeah.
bills.
And
Yeah.
want to say hi to some people watching this morning. Have Clifford Lane watching in Illinois. Said
wow.
howdy KRIM, and he's
Hello.
always watching. He's a faithful. Edna Welsheimer.
Edna.
Good morning, beautiful people.
Good morning, beautiful Edna.
I know, it was like we practiced that,
Awesome.
Trish. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Choreographed right there. And then also Falah watching in Iraq. Good morning.
Oh,
wow.
And we are multi-international because I believe Rick Quigley, he's watching.
Rick?
And Rick and his wife are in Italy. So
Oh,
how about a little
buongiorno.
pizza? Buongiorno. Buongiorno, Rick. Yeah, and he's getting his fill of pizza. Rick for Quicktail Music and Supply, one of our KRIM sponsors, loves pizza in Italy. So he's posted quite a few pictures of the delicious pizza he's eating in
Thank
Italy.
you for watching.
Great.
I
Thanks for
know.
tuning in on vacation.
I know, Rick's watching while, yeah, it's probably, let's see, afternoon in the, late afternoon there, so.
Yeah, they're approaching dinner.
Close to
Yeah.
dinner
He's
time.
having his pizza.
Yeah, so I hope Rick and Carol are having a wonderful time in Italy.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
Edna just commented, so excited about the new shelter build. Operating costs are extreme. So yeah, the operating costs, I mean, when you're a 24/7 organization, you have around-the-clock operating
We
costs.
never close.
Never close.
So you have to have staff there at all hours. Of course, it's reduced staff overnight,
Mhm.
but during the day, we have a lot of programs
Mhm.
ongoing,
Mhm.
groups, we have transportation,
Mhm.
we do many different activities going on during the day, so we have more staff during the day, and then for the swing shift, a couple less, and then
Mhm.
overnight, we try to do it with one.
Yes, and now you mentioned the thrift store, and let's talk about the thrift store a little bit. And you mentioned that, like you said, 100% of all of the proceeds from the thrift store go directly to supporting the Time Out Shelter, correct?
Yes, they go nowhere else. We don't
Mm.
send a percentage anywhere to a corporate office or anything like that.
Mhm.
It goes directly to us there in the bank to handle operating expenses.
Mhm. And so people that donate, you can feel great about that. If you're donating to the Time Out Thrift Store, you know that all of the proceeds from the sale of your items will go directly to the Time Out Shelter and helping people in need right here in the community.
right here in the community. Yes.
So pickup and delivery services, are those offered by the thrift store?
They do. For an additional small charge, I'm not sure what it is right now, but we can deliver the larger furniture, things that are bigger that you can't just take with you in the bag and go home. And we can also pick up your donations.
By appointment.
By appointment, set an appointment with call Deb, our store manager at the
Okay.
thrift store, and I can give you that phone number
Yes,
too.
what is the thrift store phone number?
It is 928. I lost it. 928, of course, 474-3989.
Very
That is the number to the thrift store.
And what are the hours of the thrift store, days that it's open?
They are open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 4.
Yeah, and now in the thrift store, that's where you utilize volunteers, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
you have some wonderful, wonderful volunteers.
We have wonderful volunteers,
So
and we love
grateful.
our volunteers. Yeah, and they're very appreciated because that will diminish the amount of staff hours that you have to pay, more costs that it takes you to operate, if you have to pay more people. So we really appreciate if people would consider volunteer opportunities at the thrift store. And they can definitely call the thrift store directly, or they can call our shelter and ask for Patty. Patty is our volunteer coordinator.
Okay.
So she can facilitate anyone that's interested in a volunteer position.
Yeah, and it is a great way to volunteer. There's, again, as we always talk about, I think when you come on, Christine, all of the amazing organizations, and we couldn't have all of these great organizations that do so much in our community if it wasn't for the volunteers.
Right.
So just like yourself, where you volunteer with multiple organizations, there are a lot of people that volunteer with multiple organizations. So if you have maybe one day a week that you would like to work with the Time Out shelter at the thrift store, and then maybe another day a week you do with the Humane Society or Senior
Yeah,
Center.
You can do multiple organizations.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and really spread the love.
Spread the love.
Yeah, because they're all organizations that do such great things in our community that are local nonprofits.
I have to share, with my time with this organization as a volunteer, I just am so grateful for our Payson community because they're always so generous. Not only at Christmas time are they generous, but they're generous throughout the whole year. When we do a mail out or when we do something like this on the radio, anything. Anything that you can help us with would be just so grateful and appreciated.
And it's not just monetary, but your household goods, clothing,
Yes.
can go to the thrift store. That's what we sell there. And so what you donate to our thrift store, we sell that to directly support our shelter. So
Yes,
we
and
appreciate that.
I actually went shopping in there the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could not, they redid everything in there. It's nice and organized. They even have a little bookstore, so those people who like to read, books
So
are
cute.
very nice. They're organized in the environment of where,
by
dramas.
genre, he put it together by genre and by author.
There
and
you
he's
go.
kind of put it together like a library.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Stop by and check it
Oh,
out.
that's right,
Yeah.
because that is fairly new, isn't it? That
Yes.
book section. So if you haven't been by the Time Out thrift store in a while, definitely need to check it out.
Yeah,
And we got new signage out front that I'm really proud of. It looks beautiful. The overhead signs and then on the windows as
Window.
well. So stop by and check it all out.
yes. And they, on Fridays, I was very excited. I got to roll a dice. I rolled a 1, so I got 10% off of my purchase that day. But you get, roll
Whatever.
a dice on Friday.
It's fun, huh?
It is. I
love
was like,
that.
what is this? And I rolled my dice, and it was like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
1.
You
But
could
anyway.
you could get a lot off.
But it was 10% off.
Yes.
I mean, and I bought some really, cool stuff.
Wow, so with that die, you could get up to 60 or so?
Well,
Or is
the Sure, if you
Yeah.
rolled a 6, you
Yeah.
get 60% off.
Whoa!
It's so fun
That
because you don't
is.
know what your discount's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's a fun game.
Oh my goodness!
And
yeah.
then if I found the vintage section,
Uh-huh.
and she says, well, since you already paid, you can roll the die again. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it because I figured, do I really need this?
That was good
but-
sales technique. I like that.
But now I am going to, go on Fridays.
Yeah.
So on Fridays and try that.
So is that every Friday?
I think they're doing it every Friday. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
She runs a number of specials here and there. You'll go in and you'll be 25% off the store.
Mhm.
There's just a lot of fun promotions
Mhm.
ongoing, and she does a marvelous job at that.
She does.
Yeah.
So that's why
Really
it's
good.
always.
And it smelled good in there. It was just
Yeah.
clean and not
It's more,
cluttered.
more open.
It is.
It's less.
And there's
less
furniture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for people looking for furniture, like, there was a dresser in there for, I don't know, very, very inexpensive for first timers,
Mhm.
Remember those days, guys?
I would highly recommend that. Instead of going and paying a whole bunch of money for furniture, check the thrift stores first.
Yeah.
So
There's
cute.
some,
Oh yeah.
perfect furniture in
So
there.
furniture, houseware, kitchenware, paintings, artwork,
Lots of
clothing,
Accessories.
accessories.
She
Purses.
has lots of nice
shoes.
jewelry. They do.
Jewelry,
Lots of
oh my
nice
gosh, the
jewelry.
jewelry. I could not believe how nicely that was displayed as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Displayed very nicely.
Yeah.
And we actually get really good quality there. Also handbags.
Mhm.
Yeah, some nice brand name handbags there. and
So we're talking up the thrift store, Time Out Thrift Store, but I don't think we mentioned, and again, because there are so many new people to the community, we didn't mention exactly where it is. And
Oh,
so
yep.
it is located
It is-
in the Bash's Shopping Center
Yes.
and next to.
nail envy.
Next to, there's Nail Envy and the Pizza.
Pizza Factory.
Right
Yeah.
between
It's
the
right
two.
between them.
Yep, in between Pizza Factory, and I think a lot of people know where Pizza Factory is.
You can
because
have
it's very
lunch,
popular.
you can go
Yep.
shopping, and you can get your nails done.
Mm.
Right there in the shopping center.
Right
Yeah.
there, and then,
On the
yeah.
day out.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Or, have some lunch, check out the
Mhm.
thrift store, do some shopping at Bash's, whatever. It's just a great location, a lot of parking, so you don't have to worry about that.
Mhm.
And again, so the Time Out Thrift Store, and again, all of the proceeds, 100% remain local and support our residents of domestic violence and shelter operations.
Yes.
So that is great. Again, the shelter doing so much. You mentioned over the years, 4 years, and I can remember golf tournaments, different fundraisers that the board and volunteers have put on. You have an event coming up the end of this month, September 29th,
So
right?
excited,
Yeah.
yes.
And this isn't a fundraiser, but it's to kick off.
This-
domestic-
It is more for informational
Okay.
purposes, shining light on domestic violence and bullying is our theme.
Mhm.
As you know, we've always done a walk annually,
Mhm.
but this is our second annual at Green Valley Park. Very exciting because the atmosphere over there is beautiful.
Mhm.
We've got the high school and middle school involved to stop the bullying process. Just letting kids aware that it's not cool to bully.
Mhm.
And anyway, why don't you
Yes.
talk about that?
Sure. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month,
Mhm.
and that's national, if not internationally recognized.
Mhm.
And so to kick that off, on September 29th, we're going to lead into Domestic Violence Awareness Month by having lanterns on the lake.
Mhm.
And what that is it's at Green Valley Park at the Big Lake,
Mhm.
and we're going to have food trucks there. You can eat dinner, come out and hang out at the park. There's going to be music provided by KRIM. KRIM will be there.
Yes. playing
We're
the
going to have a
tunes.
couple of speakers,
Mhm.
just brief speakers,
Mhm.
not too long. And then we're going to decorate lanterns. So
Mhm.
those are the paper lanterns that you can decorate, you put messages on.
Mhm.
We'll do an awareness walk around the lake,
Mhm.
just to, in remembrance of those that have survived domestic violence
Mhm.
and for those that did not.
Mhm. Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a very, grim side to this subject.
Mhm.
Then we're going to come back and we're going to launch those lanterns that you've
Mhm.
decorated, and they're gonna be illuminated with a little LED. And so, right at sunset, we're gonna launch those on the lake. So if you can picture, sunset at the park, Green Valley Park, just everybody hanging out as a community.
And the lanterns illuminating on the lake.
Illuminating the lake. And I'm told that the fountains are going to be in the purple.
Purple,
The lighting on the fountains in the middle of the lake, will be purple. Purple is the color for domestic violence awareness. So it's going to be a really beautiful sight. So I encourage everybody to come out and enjoy it.
Yes.
I would like to say that Chapman Cares has donated t-shirts for us, so we will be selling t-shirts for $10 each. However, the luminaries, the lanterns are all complimentary, and kids, parents, families, grandmas, anybody can just take them and decorate as many as they would like, and enjoy the festivities. I think we're going to make it super fun, just shining light on the fact that there is domestic violence and bullying, and honoring those who have,
just those that have survived.
Those that have survived and
those that have not.
Yes.
It'll be a great event.
And it is a great community event for the community and people to come together because, like you said, the purpose is to shed light, and light exposes, and instead of kind of allowing it to be in darkness, the best thing you can do is to bring light to it, to expose it, to hopefully reduce the amount, or make people aware, make people aware of what signs to look for. And also with children, it's important to see how damaging it can be, so maybe they don't go down that road.
That is so true. But I left my abuser because he made my 4-year-old kid sit on the porch and he said to him, "This is what you do to them when they don't listen to you." And that made me wake up. And I left my abuser. So.
And you can see why Kristin has the dedication to time out that she has had because of that experience.
I'm a survivor. But I do want to share with you, so our event is in September 29th, and we would love for you to join us anytime between the hours of 4:15 and
on. We're going to start activities at 4:15, but don't hesitate to come down after 5 if you can.
Yeah.
And we're also having this in September because last year we hit it on fall break, and the kids really wanted to be involved. In fact, they are doing some really cool stuff around the park with messages. So, on bullying and why you're valuable.
And as Edna just commented, it's a very family-friendly event, and it is for the entire family.
It's for the entire family. We encourage everybody to come out. The subject matter is not going to be heavy, but it's just an awareness event. We're all getting together. It's a beautiful sight on the lake.
Yes.
Plus, I think we have 3 food trucks this year.
Yes, yummy foods. We have wings. We have Gila hogs, and I believe we have some sweets.
Yes, I hear that one of the trucks is dessert.
Dessert.
So isn't that awesome?
Awesome.
Yeah, so you can have the
So come out and eat and support our event and our local, beautiful community.
Yes.
There's no admission charge. You can get a t-shirt if you want to. You don't have to.
And like you said, the activities start at 4:15, and I believe it'll be approximately around 6 o'clock when the sun starts setting that you're looking at launching the lantern. So even if you can only make it out, to see the lanterns out there, please come out. Spend some time in the park, talking with people, enjoying the food vendors, and just seeing the lanterns on the lake, because it is a magnificent sight.
It is. It's something to see. Last year was our first foray into this, and I think it came out really well. So this year we know what we're doing a little bit more, so it should really be good.
Wow, that is great.
It'll be fun.
And Edna did ask, and I don't know if this was happening this year, but fire trucks?
Yes,
Fire trucks?
I was just going to mention that we have fire trucks,
Yeah, okay.
and yes, And we also have our Payson Police Department and just a slew of volunteers. So come out and see who's all supporting us, and we'll be thanking them and our community for
There we go.
their efforts.
For all of their support.
And again, that's Thursday, September 29th, and the activities start at 4:15 p.m. So, well, Kristin, Croak, again, thank you. And again, just want people to know for real estate meetings, they can contact Kristin at 928-970-0634, or you can visit her website, and that's PaysonAZProperty.com. There we go.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, you're so
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having Trish on and talking about time out.
Thank you for sharing your time also.
Yeah.
For your
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And about what Time Out does, and also the Lanterns on the Lake, second annual event. So I think it'll be just a great time for people in the community to come out.
We're excited about it.
Yes. Well, thank you again, and thank you to everyone who is listening and watching
Thank you,
on
guys.
our
Thank
KRIM
you.
Live. Edna, have a wonderful day. Cliff, have a great day. Falah, and everyone else watching. And time to get back to the music now with some Monkeys, KRIM, Moody Blues, and
Monkeys,
more.
Bobby
The
Sherman! Yay!
I know.
Peace love, Bobby Sherman. Do you remember that?
Just say monkeys and we go crazy in
We
here.
do.
But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
I think we were on the air.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember
We're
that?
building up the excitement for the monkeys
When
right
they
now.
when they finished their show, was it Bobby Jones? Was it
David Jones.
David Jones.
Thursday
He would
show.
always say, he would always end his, he'd always end his show, peace, love, Bobby Sherman. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember the opening. So the monkey walk. Do you remember
Yeah.
when they would cross legs?
Oh, yeah. And,
Chris, I think that was really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here
We appreciate that.
Was
You're
it-
so good at guiding the
Oh, yeah. Well,
conversation.
thank you for
Appreciate
the
it.
outline. It was great. It was great. It worked perfect. It flowed really well. So
Good.
that was good.
Good.
Yeah, what was that theme song? Here we come.
Walking down the
Walking down the street,
Yeah.
hand in hand with everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're on the market.
You got an extra show today. Yes.